By the end of this lecture, you will understand the role of dial plans in Microsoft Teams, how they control call routing, and the key calling features that enhance communication. A dial plan is a set of rules that define how phone numbers are dialed, normalized, and routed within Microsoft Teams. It controls how Teams processes user dialed numbers and translate them into routable formats, for instance, the E164 format. Now, dial plans are important because they simplify, it simplifies number management across users and locations. It ensures calls are routed correctly to internal or external destination and provides that flexibility for local, national, and international dialing. Some of the key components to Teams dialing plans are: one, the normalization rules, which convert user dialed numbers into that standard E164 format. So the example is a user dial 555-1234, right? Just a local 7-digit number. And the normalization rule will convert that into a full E164 number, that format, so it can be routed with adding the area code, the 1 and the plus. Now, these rules are regex based and can handle, like I said, adding that country code base and removing unnecessary prefixes. The second thing that is a component is tenant dialing plans, which are custom dial plans specific to any organization. So you define it in the Teams Admin Center, and you would say, for example, local offices can dial these shortened numbers, right? 4 digits extensions. So, and the last thing that is a key component in Teams dial plan is service dial plans, which are predefined dial plans provided by Microsoft for each country or region, and is automatically applied to users without customization. Now, how dial plans work in Teams is a user dials a number, the dial plan normalization rules are applied, Teams processes the normalized number and matches it to a routing policy. The call is then sent to the appropriate destination, whether an internal extension or an external PSTN via the SIP trunk or calling plan. Now, some of the key calling features in Teams are auto attendance, which is an interactive menu that route calls based on user input. For example, press 1 for support. And this supports real-time greetings in multiple languages. The call queues, which holds incoming calls in a queue until they can be answered. And these features can include customizable greetings, music on hold, or call routing to agents or maybe a group of agents. Call forwarding and delegation. So you can forward calls to another user, voicemail, or external number. You can assign delegates to manage these calls on your behalf. Voicemail, which integrated with Exchange Online. Users can access voicemail through the Teams app or email. Emergency calling, which routes emergency calls like 911 to the appropriate public safety answering point, that PSAP, and supports location-based routing to identify the caller's location. And lastly, call park, which temporarily places a call on hold so it can be picked up from another device. Now, when you're configuring dial plans in Teams, you got 2 steps. The first step is to define your normalization rules. So you would navigate to TAC, Teams Admin Center, go into Voice Dial Plans, and you create a new normalization rule. So you would define a pattern and translation rule using regex. So the example would be, this is the regex pattern. So we have the arrow pointing up, that's start of the pattern. We have 9, which most companies use to get out. And then you have some other components. We'll get into regex. I don't want to confuse you guys too much because it is a whole nother lesson. But basically, this is just saying to normalize, put the last 7 digits onto this translation pattern. And the translation was +1416. The $ means to add the 7 digits, and then 1 is the end. And then you really would put in your pattern, put in your translation, and just test the rule to ensure that that is going to normalize the numbers correctly. Okay, so once you have your pattern, you have your translation, and the test is good, it translated your numbers, then you're going to assign the dial plans to the users. So you're still in voice, but you're going to go to calling policies and you're going to assign the appropriate dial plan that you just created, to the users based on their location or their role. Now, when you're configuring calling features in Teams, you have auto attendants and call queues. We know what auto attendants are, but you would go into TAC, voice, and auto attendants. And you can create new auto attendants here by setting up a greeting message, and you can define call routing options based on the input. For example, press 1 for sales. And you would also assign that auto attendant to a phone number. Now, when it comes to call queues, you would go into voice and call queues. And you create this queue here by adding agents or team groups to handle calls. And you can configure your music on hold and timeout settings. When you're testing dial plans, use the test dial plan feature in the Teams admin center. Input a sample number and verify the normalized output. Now, when you place test calls to auto agents to check menu options, you can also test call queues to ensure proper routing. Testing voicemail functionality, you can do that by leaving a message and verifying delivery. So some common troubleshooting tips would be to check for conflicting normalization rules, ensure assigned dial plans match the user's location and policy. You definitely want to verify that the assigned phone numbers are configured correctly and ensure that agents are added to call queues and their team status is available. Now, the benefits here of the Teams dial plans and calling features is flexibility, being able to tailor dialing and calling routing for local, national, and even global needs. Efficiency with that streamlined call handling with auto attendants and queues. And we love scalability, which is easily to add on new users, locations, and features as the organization grows. So just a full circle here is dial plans standardize how numbers are dialed and routed in Teams, and calling features like auto attendants, call queues, and voicemails enhance the end user's experience.